I began looking at verse 479 in the previous video, and I'll continue with it in this one. I'll begin by reading out the verse again. Verse 479. Why is the world like a vision and a dream? How does it resemble the city of the Gandharvas? Why is it to be regarded as like a mirage, or like the moon reflected in water? Pray tell me. So Muhammad is asking this question of the Buddha. And his first question in this verse is, why is the world like a vision and a dream? And I looked at this in some detail in the previous video. So if you haven't heard that one, it might be a good idea to check it out, because it's very important. We're often told that we should regard the world as like a dream. But why? Why should we accept that it's like a dream? So that was what was looked at in the previous video. Spiritually, we want to stop investing in that world. Like any dream, we have a role to play within it, and we get on with playing that role. But we shouldn't subscribe to its reality, although this is always the feeling. It's almost impossible to take away the reality of what we're experiencing right now, whether we're in a dream or whether we're in this reality here, the one where you're hearing this video. Muhammad asks, how does it resemble the city of the Gandharvas? The Gandharvas are angelic beings, celestial musicians. So we can think of the city of the Gandharvas as this elaborate structure in the sky, what we might call in English castles in the sky. They seem solid. They seem as if they've been constructed. They've got a history. And yet, they're in the sky, so they can't be real. But this is what we take as reality. What we consider reality, and let's be quite clear about this, what we consider to be reality is the world out there. We also consider to be reality me here, this individual here, that's trying to make a go of it in that world out there. That's what we take as reality. Is it not quite crazy to dispute this? Well, the point is, this understanding of reality is like a castle in the air. It's like the city of the Gandharvas. It takes us in. It enchants us. The Gandharvas are singing their songs of enchantment, playing their music. We get drawn in, we get sucked in. Or if you prefer the castles in the air metaphor, well, we see strength. That castle's strong. It offers protection. The people that built it knew what they were doing. But the point is, it's in the air. It's got no foundation. Our belief in the solidity of reality has no foundation. We're going to leave this reality at some point. We know that. That's a fact. And yet we carry on as if it's never going to end, scrabbling about in it, digging our own little hole in it. So this is how our sense of reality resembles the city of the Gandharvas. Now, I'm not trying to encourage a, well, what's the point mentality. No, you do get on with it, you do engage with it. But as we do this, realize that you're just playing a game. and come back to something more real. Come back to the reality of being, sense of being, or what's often referred to as suchness. It's a sense of who you are beyond any notion of personal identity. You're not a name. You're not an individual with a particular history. That's just a particular dressing up, a temporary dressing up. But come back to that which knows all this. Come back to that which is knowing. Come back to a sense of what is here, witnessing everything that is going on. Why is it to be regarded as like a mirage, or like the moon reflected in water? Because it's got no intrinsic reality. What is going on, what is apparently going on, or what we think is going on, has no intrinsic reality. We see a mirage, we get taken in by it. Once we realize it's a mirage, the mirage doesn't disappear, but we're no longer taken in by it. The moon reflecting in water. If we're completely naive, and we are, we think the moon is something to do with the water. The moon is somehow coming from the water. And the point of this metaphor is we're looking in completely the opposite direction for what is real. We're looking in the water for the reality of the moon. There it is. There's the moon, there's the image of the moon. It's in the water. It must be related to the water somehow. And this is what we do. The attention is looking outwards. The attention is attending to things. But the real light of awareness, which is what the attention is awareness. The attention is what we direct to things. But the reality of the attention, the reality of that awareness, is in the attention itself. We have to go in the opposite direction to where the awareness is pointing in order to see the true source of the light. That awareness is here. That awareness goes out there as attention. Attention. We drop the tension in the attention and come back to being here. This is the source of all light.